Welcome back to the Den of Episodes. I'm Marlo Fox, and this is your cozy corner of the internet. Today we're diving into Season 1, Episode 4. Buckle up. This episode is jam-packed with family secrets, goats running wild, and a genealogist showing up at just the right time. Grab your cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable while I stoke the fire, and let's head back to the Highlands. Season 1, Episode 4 originally aired March 19th, 2000. Our spotlight of the week is on Lorraine Pilkington, who plays Katrina Finley. She was born in Dublin, Ireland on April 18th, 1974, which makes her 51 at the time of this recording. She's been married to director Simon Massey since 2001 and has 3 sons with Massey and 2 stepchildren from his first marriage. She has 47 credits, including appearing in Season 1 of The Clinic, which is an Irish drama that I loved. I highly recommend it. I would imagine she's been very busy raising children, which is probably why her acting slowed down over the years. Lorraine has blonde curly hair and blue eyes. She's very pretty. She's sassy and independent. I adore her cottage and want to know what she pays per month. She provides the perfect character for Archie to argue and flirt with. Some ancillary characters are Harold Xavier. He's a genealogist. He's handsome and charming. He's an older gentleman. And once he arrives, there's an air of mystery about him. We see 2 farmers in this episode who are only referred to as Johnston and Pierce. They're rivals in goat farming. We have a brief appearance by a mechanic who stops to help Archie restart the Land Rover. The episode opens with Archie putting the finishing touches on his bed and breakfast sign, when a charming older gentleman walks up to say he was just driving by and stopped for a view. Archie tells him if he's looking for a room, he will be the first guest. The man introduces himself as Harold Xavier. The guest notices the window in his room won't open, so Archie has Duncan go in to fix it. Of course, Duncan has to snoop around a little bit, and he finds a document labeled The Legacy of Ballantyne. This sends Duncan down a rabbit hole, thinking he could be a duke because his granny was a Ballantyne. Meanwhile, as Mr. Xavier is eating a meal in the dining room and chatting with Archie, Hector walks in wearing nothing but a towel. Hector is yelling, "Where did that woman put my dressing gown?" Archie tells him he can't walk around in a tatty old towel. So Hector removes it, and he's standing there in nothing but his birthday suit. It turns out that Molly and Hector know Harold Xavier. He's a genealogist who's been connected to the estate for 25 years. He is here to trace the descendants of a specific clan. And honestly, his timing couldn't be more dramatic, because it's about to shake things up big time. Xavier needs to look at some of the estate's records, which sends Hector and Archie into the attic. Archie stumbles across an old suitcase with the name of Miriam McKinnon on it. It turns out this is Katrina's mother. She was Glenbogle's housekeeper 20-some years ago. At Katrina's cottage, we find Alan Smythe is still here. He cares about Katrina, and it's clear he wants to rekindle their relationship. She's still upset with him over the stunt he pulled with the sheep at the Glenbogle ball. I just can't see these 2 getting back together. Archie arrives at the cottage with Katrina's mother's suitcase. Katrina goes through it and discovers a diary. It turns out Katrina's mother, Miriam, had an affair, got pregnant with Katrina, and left her housekeeping job at the estate. The diary refers to H as the man she had an affair with. Could Hector be her dad? Trina goes to the estate to tell them what she has uncovered. Hector is flustered and leaves the room in a huff. Molly is very gracious and welcomes Trina to the family, but you can feel the tension in the room. Meanwhile, my brain's about to explode as I contemplate Archie and Trina being brother and sister. Molly is furious about this news, it turns out, and she is packing to go to London and stay with a friend. She can't believe that that Hector would cheat on her all those years ago. And now let's talk about the goats. Two local farmers are arguing over the billy goat's offspring. They each feel entitled to them and want Archie, the laird, to arbitrate. Archie refuses, but as they push him to make a decision, he declares the goats are wards of the estate until the two men can come up with an agreement on their own. Not happy with this decision, the farmer named Johnston brings the goats to Glenbogle and dumps them in the yard to eat the flowers and cause total goat chaos. Here we have Archie, Lexi, Duncan, and Golly running around trying to herd them. In all the mayhem, one goat gets into the house and eats Duncan's grandmother's birth certificate, his proof that he could be the heir to the Ballantyne estate. However, as the episode goes on, we learn the legacy of the Ballantyne estate, it turns out, goes to Golly, not Duncan, as he is older. The two of them are related. They must be cousins. And what does Golly inherit? A lock of hair belonging to Prince Charles, along with the honor of belonging to the Ballantyne clan and 30 pounds. Golly gives Duncan the lock of hair, but he keeps the money. Trina, with Archie's help, tracks down old friends and locations tied to her mother's past. And here comes the jaw-dropping moment. The H in the diary wasn't Hector, it was Harold Xavier. The scene is handled very beautifully, as an old photograph brings to light all the secrets. Mr. Xavier realizes he is her father, though he never knew she existed. Trina processes this huge revelation with grace and shock. Xavier says he met her father once, and he was a good man. He asks if she might not need another father, and she says she doesn't, but she is a bit short of uncles. Later on, Archie and Trina immediately continue their bickering as they delight in the fact that they aren't siblings. Molly and Hector make up as she asks him why he didn't just tell her he hadn't had an affair. He says he only ever loved her. He was embarrassed that he didn't fulfill his duty as a laird by getting it on with the maids. She gives him a good, swift kick in the shin for putting her through the misery. With dramatic music, the farmers return for the decision of the laird. They stand before Archie, who is seated, with Golly just behind him. Golly tells the squabbling farmers to shut up in the presence of the laird. Archie tells them, according to ancient law, since the livestock have destroyed his garden, he's taking possession. He's selling them to a Lebanese restaurant that specializes in barbecued goat. The farmers are very unhappy with this and plead with Archie not to do it. They say it would be sinful to have them slaughtered. Finally, Archie says Pierce can have the 2 male kids and Johnston can have the rest. They agree and thank the laird and leave. Archie and Golly basically do a high five. It's time for Harold Xavier to leave, and he thanks Hector and Molly for everything. Outside, we see Trina is waiting to see Harold off. They embrace, and he tells her he will write. The episode finishes with good-natured bickering between Trina and Archie about whether she thinks he's a good laird. In our across-the-pond translations, we don't have that many this week. We have tatty when Hector comes out in his tatty old towel, and that means worn out or shabby. A dressing gown, as we've said in earlier episodes, is a robe. In one part of the episode, Lexi tells Duncan he has a fat head, and she means head. He has a fat head. And one of the farmers says the word, he says nay, which means no. And the only animal sighting this week were the multitude of goats. That's a wrap on Season 1, Episode 4. This episode had it all: laughs, tears, secrets, and goats. I want to know what you thought about Harold being Katrina's dad. Did you see that coming? Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and join us next time as we unpack the madness, romance, and drama at the estate. You can email me at thedenoфepisodes@yahoo.com. I'm Marlo Fox, and until next time, keep the kettle on and the episodes rolling.